Good afternoon, everyone. Great Ife, articulate Ife, ever conscious Ife. Thank you very much. I think we needed that energy. So good afternoon once again. My name is Salvation Grace, and I'm very excited to be hosting this panel session because I personally know two people out of this panelists. So I think I'll be able to vibe, and we'll be able to have a beautiful discussion. So thank you very much, and I hope that you enjoy the discussion. So to start with,
Mic check 1 2.
So thank you. So the first question I have here is Osato, what inspired you to embark on your own personal and professional development, and how has it shaped you to who you are today? And I think everyone will take that question.
Great Ife. Great Ife. Articulate Ife. All right, I find it a great privilege and an honor to be sitting here today. Usually, I don't joke with my Saturdays because I'm usually at work or I'm at home resting. But White Up Global is a big organization that I cannot say no to. So I would like to say a very big thank you to the convener and to the amazing and fantastic team that they have today here. Now, my journey to becoming, I see life as a very mighty game. Life is a very serious game. And the truth is that all of us in this room today, we are playing that game. Unlike playing station, where if you lose, you can say, okay, I'm going to come for the second round, or I'm going to come for the third round. In this life's journey, we can only play this game once. And that is why it is important that all of us we embark on that journey to becoming. My journey to becoming actually started in 200 level. I called home on a particular day, and yes, I finished from a private school, but my mom never wanted me to go to a private school. Because why? They could not afford it. But my dad insisted this is the dream he has had for me, the female child, to go to a private school. And 200 level, I called home. Please, I need money. Oh, mommy, I need money, of course. And the feedback I got, my mom said it in Yoruba. And it was that point that I think the spirit of entrepreneurship came up on me. The first thing I ever sold, there was one woman that brings okrika clothes to our hostel. So I met her. I said, Ma, I just matter okrika for me. You'll be giving me 700 naira. I will sell it to 1,000, and I will give you your money back at the end of the day. And we agreed. And that was how my first leads me to my first business lesson. Knowing the gifting that each of your team members brings to the table. I had the gift asset. I could make the toast bread very well. My other friend, she had the finance asset. So anytime we needed money, she would bring the money on board. The third person, she had the social assets. So anytime we make the toast bread and we need people to come and buy it, she's going to go and meet them to sell it. And that was how my becoming journey began, because these dots, they connect at the end of the day. Honor is the seed you have to sow before you reap your harvest. From selling toast bread, I started honoring people that were placed above me. And some people here this morning will be thinking, what do you even have to give? 10 naira matters. Oh, you see somebody as your mentor. You see someone that you look up to. Oh God, I don't have money. Just take this 100 naira. Just take this 50 naira. And that was how my kilishi business started. From buying it in the supermarket to give as gifts to people saying, oh, I love this kilishi. And I said, not hearing kilishi girl. And I decided to try it. I went to the north. I'm like, I think I can do something about this kilishi business. I mean, beef kilishi is what everybody knows. I think we can make chicken kilishi. I think we can make turkey kilishi. I think we can make goat meat kilishi. And I think we can make it in a more hygienic way. And that was how my becoming journey started. From 1 room to 2 rooms to a 7-bedded room. From 1 supermarket to 40 supermarkets to over 200 supermarkets. From selling to shops in the community to selling to shops. To selling to stores like Just Right, to selling to stores like Ebanon. From just a singular idea and just from taking that journey seriously. Because I know that I can never go back to GS2 again. I can never go back to university again to say I want to go and do 100 level again. So this game that I am playing, I have to play it very well, like it is the last time I would live my life.
That's very inspiring. Thank you. So, Ma, you have the same question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, White Up Global, for inviting me here. And I welcome every one of us. Thank you for being a part of this program. Okay, to my becoming, well, I'm from a family where the male child is preferred above the girl child. In the sense that it's a royal family, so they believe that after some time, you have to go with your man, and that's your end. And I guess that a part of this rubbed on my dad, despite the fact that he's a Christian. It rubbed on him. And somehow, you know, we get to feel it from his statement, from his actions, from all of that. So while I was a teenager, I told myself I needed to get better. But I didn't know why. I didn't know how. I didn't know how. And that is where the place of God came in. I knew God quite early because I had ended the girls only boarding school, and it's someone that usually comes every Sunday to preach to us and all of that. So I knew that with from where I'm coming from, I needed a bigger way out. I needed a stronger hand to take me out of that shoe, because I saw that almost every female in that my immediate family circle were either selling pepper, palm wine, palm oil, as in no regular graduates, as in no. Even those that attempted to maybe go to school of nursing fell off along the way. So I told myself, when they were having a particular meeting, the ladies were there, and they were having this meeting, and I discovered that none of my aunties had anything to say to a major family meeting. He said, whatever the guy said, that is it. Does it mean all of these women had nothing tangible to deliver? I was just a teenager. I was just serving them. You know, when you have to serve a lot of guests in the house. And from that point, I knew that I just had to do something. And that was where it started from. I told myself, anywhere I find myself, any part I find myself, I'm going to get to the peak of it. And the first step I needed to do was I knew I had to go to school, because it was a major disadvantage for all of them. Then going to school was very tough. Every phase was tough. But I made up my mind. I did not allow those things to discourage me. Even at times when you had to be sent out of school for school fee, was not paid on time. You can imagine when you are in a very big school, high-class school, because they wanted a good education for us, so they put us in a good school, but they couldn't afford it at a stretch. So you know, when you have to pay in bits and all of that. So all of those things influenced as I grew, and I told myself I was going to be different. No matter what life is throwing at me, I was going to do something differently. So I focused on academics because I thought I discovered I had a strength along that, not because I was a very or the genius type, but I knew that I had a strength for book reading and all of that. So I picked my reading. Getting first degree was a tug of war. Getting admission was another war, you know, graduating and all of that. So I just kept telling myself, Nike, you have to keep moving on. You have to avoid repeating what has happened in time past so that you can help somebody out there. You know, when it comes to helping somebody out there, and I wonder, I've not even helped myself. This thought of helping somebody out there is even coming in. I didn't know there was a bigger work for me to do. So at that point in time, as I was growing, I discovered the flair for reaching out to teenagers to help them see. The earlier you discover where you need to find a solution to yourself, the better. Once you get on track early, you will get it early. Under God, all things being equal, you will just see things gradually falling in place. Not that there won't be ups and downs, but you can get there. Thank you
very much, ma'am. Thank you. You have the same question.
All right. Thank you very much. Of the greatest Ife, articulate Ife. I will always call myself the number 1 servant leader in LoRdFeM University, because by virtue of the fact that I'm the president of the student union, I'm obviously serving a lot of students, in fact, over myself. So, and I would like to appreciate White Up for giving me this opportunity to be here. He was one of the persons that, you know, I told of my ambition far back as 3 or 4 years ago, you know, when I had the intention to run for the student union president. And I would say that you have actually done a very, very bad thing to me today, because I don't know why you'll be putting me with my lecturers, you know, to come speak. But I will quickly do justice briefly to the question, and I'll make it as relatable as possible, because I'm also a student just like you are. My journey to becoming obviously started from my secondary school days. I'll put it that way. And I actually put it into 2 ways, you know, journey to making money for myself and journey to taking up leadership positions. I know the other 2 panelists have spoken about family and family. I don't want to go that way, but I'll also say that the fact that I am from a broken home, you know, my mom and dad separated far back in 2006, had already, you know, put me in a difficult position, you know, to look for ways to fend for myself. So immediately I was done with secondary school, I actually went to teach in one of the biggest secondary schools in Ibadan then. For those that are in Ibadan, I will not want to mention the name. So I was the least degree holder in that school with my SSC certificate, obviously. But because of the fact that I know what I wanted and I know where I was going, I eventually became the vice principal administration in that school, despite the fact that I was holding an SSC certificate. So this, it was just that I knew that, okay, if I don't do well in this part, I mean in this position that being a teacher in that school at that point in time, I might not eventually get a raise in my salary, because I was paid 6,750. I'm not going to mistake it. That was my first payment before it was eventually, you know, increased when they saw the work rate and all of that. So I tried gaining admission. My preferred choice initially was Ahmadu Bello University, but you know, as God will have it, I'm here in OAU. So my first day on this campus, the first day I will step foot on this campus in 2018, if I'm not mistaken, we took bus. Then bus was still 13 naira now. We took bus, got to bus stop, and I said it that if the union is going to be reinstated before I graduate, I will obviously become the president, because then there was no student union. And ever since then, ever since I had that intention in me, everything I've been doing on this campus has been towards this particular position that I am. You know, from contesting for the faculty rep at the level of this hall, I think it was inside Adjusted Lecturer that I, you know, volunteered to be the class rep for over 800 students then in part 1. I won. You know, I took up position in White Up, this current organization, White Up Global, you know, did Hot Prize, OAU, volunteered with the Red Cross, you know, do a lot of I even sold egg because I wanted to network, you know more people, you know, go to, because I had phobia for females then in part 1. So the only way I can get close to girls was to actually bring a service to them. And I know girls like eggs then. So I sold eggs. So the selling eggs took me to maintenance, took me to malls, took me to a lot of places, just to connect with more girls. Because at the end of the day, whenever you need them, whenever you need something, girls will take your matter on their head better than the guys. It's obvious. So then I did a lot of things, volunteered a lot of things, even contested for my faculty president and eventually won. And that alone, puts me in that position to be able to, contest for the Great Ife student. And as God will have it, we won, and we've been trying our best to make sure that we serve the students and represent them in the best capacity that we can. Thank you very much.
You are going again. Thank you very much. I think that's a very powerful journey of yours. So the next question is what are some common misconceptions or challenges young people face when it comes to like personal discovery, like when it comes to like understanding who you are, the self-awareness, and what do you think are the common challenges faced by young people?
All right, thank you very much for that question. As I said earlier, all questions directed at me, I'll make it personal, so that we can relate, because I'm a student too. So the first challenge I would say was the one I faced when I was contesting, and that was doubt. Self-doubt and doubt from people that were supposed to even believe in me. Then it was said to a lot of persons that I don't think he has the capacity to lead over 30,000 students. Because he served in the faculty does not mean he can handle 30,000 student affairs. There were a lot of doubts, and the fact that I went against 9 other persons that have been there before me, that have served in that capacity before. In fact, they said it to the extent that I might not be able to face the crowd at Amphi Lecture Theatre or Ududua or that. I will definitely flop at the debate or manifesto. In fact, they told me that instead of going for the president, why not go for director of socials or maybe the secretary general? That I know I don't really need to stress so much before I actually show students that I'm working for them. So the doubts were there then, but I didn't let it get to me, because I knew where I was going and I know I wanted this position. So that's one doubt. The second one, I'll just make it 3. The second one is finances. Let me put it that way. If you are going to discover yourself and you don't have the money or you don't have the resources, I don't want to make it money now, because there are a lot of resources that you need to actually discover yourself aside from money. You need resource persons like mentors, leaders, people like White Up. There are people that can put you, let you discover yourself. So you need a lot of resources, both online and offline. So resources that you need to discover yourself are actually important too, and they might be challenge for you if you really don't know what you want. While I was learning e-commerce with IK, one of the past presidents now as we have, where I was learning e-commerce from him, and the first thing he told me was, what is the niche that you feel like you will excel in? Because we have different branches of e-commerce. So I told him that I just want the one that will give me money. I don't know any niche. Just tell me that, okay, if you go for this niche, you are going to make money. Then he told me that I should go back and think. So I thought about it, and I said I will go for health niche. So because I had him, it was very easy for me to go into that niche to sell hypertension patch while I was in part 2, part 3. Because when we made our own research and inquiries, we saw that people suffering from hypertension in the country are very, very high. The number is very, very high. So it was very easy for us to pick that, because we wanted to solve a problem. So I had him as a resource person to put me through. So there was no challenge for me in that part. But I'm so sure, because I relate with a lot of students on daily basis, that there are a lot of students on this campus that getting the necessary resource persons or resources to actually discover yourself has been a challenge for them. So that's another one. And number 2 is balancing your the third one is balancing your schedules. You are primarily a student, as my mommy will always tell me. The day I went to tell her that I wanted to contest, she told me that and I said I wanted to cross from animal science, because the news our senior colleagues had told us then was ANS. When you are in ANS, you have to read squarely. You don't combine anything with your department and all that. So I listened to all of these things and I was already scared that I don't want to have extra year, so it's best for me to just cross to another department. So I went to meet her and I told her that I want to cross, so because I want to graduate. It will not make sense that you see your student union president again next year coming back to write some courses you get. So she told me that Femi, you are primarily a student before any other thing. So she told me that the only thing I need is know how to balance my schedules. Okay, I want to meet with the vice chancellor today. I want to go to Abuja tomorrow. Go to this place. Just know how to communicate with your lecturers. Tell them you'll be absent. When you get back, reach out to brilliant students. I'm not brilliant, obviously. A brilliant student in your class. To put you through what you have missed and all of that. So I believe a lot of students are really finding it difficult to balance their academics with some other extracurricular activities they are doing, other businesses, entrepreneurship and all of that. So with these three things, I believe I've been able to coin the major challenges that we face as a youth in our journey to self-discovery. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And please don't mind him. It's not easy to become a student union president for OAU. He's brilliant because one of the major criteria to be a president is that you must have at least one. So it's not easy. So it's brilliant. Don't mind him. So thank you very much. So how can young people leverage their strengths and passion to make positive impacts in the community and of course now immediate community at the world at large? How can young people leverage on their strengths, their passion to make impact in the community?
Okay, I'll say that. Let me start by saying that you can't make impact anywhere if you feel inferior, if your self-esteem is low, if you find it difficult to relate with people, it will be difficult for you to relate with others, not talk more of impacting them. I always tell somebody that, or most times when I talk, I tell people that when I discovered that one of my major agenda is to reach out to young people, I had to learn how to make friends. I'm a typical introvert. I can be indoor, not relate, not go out, not do anything for a long time, and I don't feel anyhow. But when I discovered I had to relate with young people, if you are not friendly, if you are not lively, you can't get them. So I had to learn them out. And if you are going to impact your generation, you are going to have impact on people, then you must learn those things that will help you to fit in. You must learn those things that will help you to be able to communicate and find your niche. You can't be everywhere. You can't flow everywhere. You can't meet every need. There is something that you're meant to do, then you get it and you fit into it. And then with that, you'll be able to, for example, how we are here, White Obo Global. It's not handling too many things. It's so clear. Youth, empowerment, development, and all of that. Do you get it? So everything it has to do is reaching out to youth. And that is what he's focusing on. So you discover yourself and then build yourself to a capacity that you can be a blessing to somebody, that you can reach out to others. I hope you get that. Discover yourself. Look inward. How am I wired? What do I need to learn? If I did not learn how to make friends, how to relate, I won't be able to reach out to all the young people I've reached this in my entire years of doing this. Because it's a conscious thing. Some, they need to, you know that they need it. They need that thing. They will come. It's until I call, you need to see me. We need to talk. And then we start flowing. And they tell you that they have been longing to be able to discuss such or looking for somebody to just want to hear. So for you to be able to reach out to somebody, for you to be able to be a blessing in your generation, for you to be able to do what you are wired to do, discover yourself, find your niche, and be ready to launch out along that path.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ma. So yeah. So Ma, I follow you a lot, so I know that you always talk about mentors, how you're grateful for this and that. So this question is what role do mentorship and networking play in helping young people unlock their potential? And do you have any tips for finding mentors and building good professional relations.
Thank you so much for that question.
Yeah.
So answering the first part, I would say there are some battles actually that, of course, God is in the picture, but there are some battles that you cannot fight on your own. You need people that have gone ahead of you. Sometimes in 2020, I wanted to get a machine for my company, I think running in some millions of naira. And this mentor came, Sato, I can get this machine for you. I know that when somebody is talking with so much energy, you'll be like, oh yeah. And that was how I sent the money to him. 1 month. Osato, they've not finished processing that machine. No, you need to add some more money. I said, sir, I'm still hustling. It's not easy. He said, I know. God will provide. I will have helped you, but me, I don't have money. I said, 2 months went by. My money was still there. I had to go and call my mentor. I told my parents, because I need that money for production. And 2 weeks just after I informed my mentors, my parents, that money came out. What am I saying in essence? There are some battles in business because there's a mentor that I have that is close to one of the top police officials or whatever they call them, soldiers. And he called that man and said, Eba misbehave. Ele masheleo. So what am I saying? You need people that have gone ahead of you. And mentorship, I will always say, is divided into 4. I'm not teaching a master class, please, but it's divided into 4. 1, for burden bearers. There are some mentors that they cannot give you money, but you'll be like, mommy, this is how I'm feeling. And they will advise you, they will pet you, they will rub your back. Another one, B, C. C is for, I've forgotten now. B, C, D. D for destiny helpers. There are some mentors that are just here to help your destiny. Just like the convener of this program. For those of you that see him as a mentor, this is a destiny helping stage. Because let me tell you, Mr. Thomason can bear me a witness. There was one speaking engagement I went for in Oshogbo. I don't know if you can still remember. I stammered all through. I don't know if you can remember. I stammered all through that speaking engagement. And I got home and I cried. And I said, no. The way I'm seeing my future, I might be local in Oshogbo, but I'm looking at a global future. I need to work on myself. I need to equip myself. I need to read books. I need to learn. There are some people that come into your life and they are just destiny helpers. Some people come into your life, see for connectors. Some mentors are connectors. I have a mentor, I don't know how many of us know Abbas Foods. And when I want to supply there was a supermarket I've been trying to enter for a long time. I think that was Ace Supermarket or so. And she just picked, mommy, you are trying to enter Ace. She just picked her phone. She called. And the next week, they sent an order of maybe 2 million naira of our product. That was then in maybe 2022 or so. There are some mentors that are connectors. So you need to identify where everybody falls in your life. Not everybody can give you money because even me, I need money. Everybody needs money for something. So they just identify where everybody falls in your life. Are there people that bear your burden? Are there people that will just connect you to opportunities? You want to talk to, somebody was telling me one time that if I want to talk to the president of this country and I don't have maybe a link or 3 or 4 links that I can call, that means my network never strong yet. So some people, they are just connectors. You want to do something in OAU, who can you call? You want to do something in Unioshu, who can you call? You have a business idea and you want to meet maybe somebody in Osun State, in Oshogbo, the governor, who can you call? And now, mentorship can be online or it can be physical. But now, that mentorship, how do you make sure you are positioned for it? That is what we are here for, your journey to becoming. Nobody wants to invest in somebody that they did not perceive value from. If you are coming to eat and eat and eat and sap from somebody, they will not want to be close to you. But you ask yourself, what exactly am I doing? That was why I was so impressed with the lady that sells journal. If she wants to get a mentor, she can, because she's doing something. There is proof, there is receipt already of something she's doing. So make sure you are doing something. I went to pitch at a conference they had in Osogbo. It was 2021, and that was where I met Abbas Foods. I said, mommy, you're motivating me. I went online, I went to post it. I met a billionaire today, and she saw the post and she said, come to my office. And that was how we became close. Nothing else. So do something, no matter how small. I always say it, even if it's pepper you are selling, even if it's tomato, onions. There's a woman in Lagos, what she does is moi moi, and the former president of the US invited her to the White House to come and do what? To come and make meme. Does it make sense? Meme tamara ni 100 naira, 200 naira, and we buy. So start, no matter how small or how big it is. It's from small things. Great things start from where? Small places. So if you don't start from that small place, you can never tell how big your idea will be. And let me tell you, when I started this kilishi business, I was going at a risk to the north to go and learn. I would dress like the northern people when I go to the north. I will pay an interpreter. Oh yeah, interpreter will start to English for me, because I saw the future. I made sure I did all that I needed to do just to make sure I see my dream blossom. My dream was kilishi. Let me make different varieties of kilishi. Let me supply in stores. Let me export it. But I was willing to inconvenience myself. I was willing to lose friends just to make sure I meet this dream that I was dreaming. So for mentorship and networking, you are here, you are seated here today. These are avenues where we can network and meet people. Collect their contacts. Don't disturb them. Send them messages. If you have a question, send it to them. Never beg for money. Never ask for money. Never beg, oh, please, I want you to do something. I had one guy that messaged me one time. He said, thank you. I like that I'm connected to you now. I've been willing to raise 3 million for my business. I said, in my mind, I said, me guy, I need that 3 million. No. So please, mentorship is value for value. Let's make sure that we also are doing. You don't need to be on somebody's level to interact with them, but you just need to make sure you are doing something small in your small space. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we'll take 2 more questions, but I would like I will ask the 2 questions, and I want you to just talk about it because of our time. So as we strive to create a more inclusive and inclusive society, how can young people advocate for change and contribute to social justice initiative in their community? How can young people come together to make impact in their respective community? And then the last question: what advice would you give to your younger self or to young people embarking on their own personal journey to becoming? And what lesson have you learned along the way? What can you tell young people in this house? How do you fit it? So we have 2 questions. The first question is that how can young people make impact in their immediate community? And then the last one is just you giving advice, what you wished you had earlier, before now, like when you were younger. So I think we should start on your map.
Okay, for the first one, for young people to be able to impact in their okay, how to start? Well, I think number one, just like one of the things I mentioned earlier, is know yourself and know your area and focus on that. It's very important, because if you do too many things, you will not achieve any tangible results in any of them. Number 2, please don't leave out God in all that you are doing. Why? Because he is the only one that knows you, and he can reveal you to you so that you can know what to do. So many times we just try to figure out what our head can do. And sometimes when we do that, we do a lot of trial and error. But at a point, we usually have at a point where you know that this is what my heart is telling me, and that is where I should channel my energy, so that I won't get to a point where I'm 40, 50, and I'm telling myself I'm having a midlife career change or midlife decision change or something like that. We have a lot of that happening when we have missed the initial part. That's why you need to know what you want to do. Be convinced that God wants you to go that path, because you can't remove the God factor. Whether you're a Christian or a Muslim, you can't remove that God factor. It will inspire you, and then it will channel you to who to meet. It will help you a lot, and then it will help you to be focused. When you know where you are going, it will help you to be focused, and then you can actually begin to network, relate, who is doing what is in my heart. How can I learn from them? Because if you jump into water without knowing how to swim, the water might drown you, or you get carried away. So you learn from those that are already along that line, then you take one step after the other. If you want to become big one day, I always tell people I started my outreach to young people from the church. When they need people to stay with the teenagers, I just volunteer. That was how I started. I just kept volunteering when we need to reach out to school and all of that. And I discovered the passion to speak with them, flow with them, gist with them was increasing. And I was able to influence them positively. So I knew that it's a clear direction. So that is one of the things to do. Follow your heart, pray about it, and keep working and learning from those that know at least a little more than you, so that you can get better on a daily basis. And then my parting note is that nothing is big enough to limit you. I have discovered that nothing is big enough to limit you once you don't limit yourself. Once you don't allow your mindset to hold you down. No, we have a lot of things that we battle with. Oh, you can't achieve this. Oh, you can't go this far. Oh, this is the background. This is what your background is like. You know, all those things, they all set themselves as obstacles. If you don't break out of it by the help of God, you will just stay there. And one might be there till 40, 50, 60, and you're now discovering, how do I move from here? Oh, I've wasted so many years. So please, I pray we will not have regrets in our later lives in Jesus' name. Thank you very much.
So we got a question. The first one is, how can young people create change, make impact in the society? I mean, sustainable one. And then the last question is, just give a passing your what do you think you would have appreciated if you had the information a long time ago, not just.
Thank you very much for that question. So very quickly, I'll start by saying that Dr. Adeyemi has done justice to the question, and I'll just build upon everything she has said. So the first thing is actually finding your niche, which is obviously knowing yourself. You know, what do you want to do for yourself? Some people gained admission into this university to have a first class, and that's all. While we have some people that came to have a first class and network. While we have some people that came to just have a degree, just the certificate, and do and you make most of the time they spend on campus you get. So and even though I have the strong belief that federal institutions, or let me say higher institutions, whether private or federal or public, is not just for the certificate alone. It's for you to build the right network, right connection that would eventually, you know, work for you whenever you are done in school. So find your niche. 2 is volunteer. Like, just volunteer. If you really want to make change and you want to make an impact, like a sustainable impact, you can't just do it from the corner of your room or in your hostel, or from going to library, or from just having few talks with your friends. You have to volunteer, you know, get involved in some organizations that will put you there, so that you can also be in charge and make change. Organizations like White Orb, you know, Hot Prize, JCI, ISEC, and all these organizations. We have them on campus. I know all their directors, and if you want to connect with them, you can always reach out to me. These organizations will put you in that space where you can actually bring that change or make that impact that you really feel you can make. So after finding your niche and you volunteer, the next thing is to build upon what you might have learned while you were volunteering. Because one thing I would always say is that whenever we volunteer, we have two categories of people that volunteer. Some people volunteer because they actually want to make the change, while some people volunteer because they want to pack certificates. So that whenever you're talking about them, you have the certificate of this, certificate of that, and all of that. But volunteering is beyond the certificate. You really need to learn also while you are volunteering, so that by the time you are done volunteering or you are done in school, you can put one or two things together that you've been able to learn while you were volunteering and use it for your own good, to make your own impact and to make your own change. So I think with this, you would be on the right track, to actually, make change and also build an impact while you are a student and even when you are outside our campus. So my parting word, which I think you said something, or the part of the question you said was, is there anything we feel like if we knew then, it would have, better structured our position. So I think before I gained admission, I've been talking to some persons, that are part 4 penultimate students on this campus, the likes of Osemwingie and the likes, and the notion they gave me then was, just come and do it. When you are done, you have a lot of things that you can offer even without your certificate and all. So I already put that in my mind. So when I gained admission and we started, a faculty of agric, compulsorily you have to do White House courses. So then I felt like when my guy with the part 4 had already told me that I don't need to stress myself, just do what I can do, get my certificate. So I don't need to stress myself for real. So I was busy looking for ways to, make money and all of that. I even missed my CHM exam in part 1 because I traveled to Lagos, to go and also. So I missed the test, hoping that I will cover up in the exam, and I think I had 38 at the end of the day. So I had a carryover in my part 1 days. I was CHM 101, and it was a 4-unit course. So that already affected my CGPA, and that was because I felt like I just graduate now. I need the money more than I. So if I'm not saying Osemwingie was a bad influence to me, obviously no. In fact, he's doing very, very well in his industry right now in Lagos, and we still talk. Anytime I want to host any event on campus, I will always reach out to him because he's a resource person to me. But I think what he was just trying to tell me then is that don't be a triangle student. From library to room, then to church, or like what he's trying to say is be a 360-degree student, so that while you are learning, you are also doing some other things, so that by the time you are done, you can also have things that you can fall back to. So, but I didn't really see the advice very well in my own head. I just thought that he would just want me to come, and so I took it upon myself and be like, since I catch a graduate now, my lecturer and all of that. So it was a very strong conviction for me to miss an important test because I felt like it's important. Sure, you get. So all I would just say is that if I had known then that, or if I had asked someone that told me that, okay, while you are trying to make ends meet for yourself, also ensure that your primary assignment on campus is to get the degree and make good use of your academics. So I believe most of us, or some of us here, might have made the same mistake too. So I'm here telling you that I've made that mistake. I witnessed this firsthand. I failed my CHM 101. I wrote it again with the next part, which was actually not an LD thing for me, but I did it and I passed it. But it's an experience that I would never want to pass through again. So I'm telling you here now that your academics is important, and in anything you are doing, whether you are volunteering, you want to be a campus ambassador, you want to do this and that, your academics is of topmost priority. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, same question. So to anyone that is willing to start something impactful, I would say start from now, just to build up on what everyone has said. Start from now, start from today. Your today is much more important than yesterday. what you want to do today is much more important than what you would have done last week. And most times, to everyone in this room, our deepest fear is that we look down on our lights. We don't know the light that we carry, but all of us in this room today, we carry a high measure and a high level of light within us. But what it takes, because that light is because the convener of this program discovered his light. That's why all of us are sitting here today. So all of us also need to discover our own light to make impact wherever we are. When I was in, I think 400 entering final year, I had a carryover. And that carryover, automatically, it meant I was going to repeat the whole year because it was one of our major courses. I'm like, just because of one course, a very technical course, I will repeat a whole 400 level. I did not know I could pray and fast though. I did not know. And that point was when I started my prayer and fasting. Maybe it's a spiritual school. God, please send my answers to them. Let them reverse it. And just maybe 3-4 months after, they reversed it. But what did that period teach me? Now, anybody that has a carryover, I can share my story with them and tell them how I overcame it. So start now. Whatever it is that you want to do, start now. At age 22, through posting online, there was an organization that reached out to me, and they said they wanted to carry out some projects in Osun State. And I said, well, I've done so many projects during NYSC. I did projects. The governor of Ogun State then invited me, and because I did not feel I was capable to be sitting down with a governor's wife, I just downplayed it then. And they said, okay, we want you to help us to carry out this project in Osun State. Then I did it. And just about some weeks ago, we are still working together, and now they impacted over 805 youths in Osogbo. But just imagine I did not start from where I was, from days of giving out sanitary pads to public school students, to days of going for advocacy. Oh, education is the best legacy. Education is the best legacy. How will that boom up till today? So please, start now. Whatever you want to do, then make use of social media. Media is one major thing every young person should be engaging and making use of now. I'll share a personal story. I'm not someone that likes social media. I don't like putting out things out there. But sometimes last year, I made up my mind that whatever work it is that I'm doing, I'm going to put it online. And one day I just woke up and I said, Lagos Business School sent me a message. Oh, come and share your Kilishi journey. I mean, you are in Osogbo, you are not in Lagos. I mean, they don't rate, forgive me, but they don't rate Osun State. And they said, come and share your story, how you are doing this thing. And I just posted on Twitter. Oh God, it's so amazing to see how a young lady doing business in Osogbo can be invited to Lagos Business School 3 times to come and share her story. Ilonta. And guess what, guys? The governor reposted it. People messaged me. The special advisors messaged me. Oh, we want to come and see your facility. We want to come. And they all came and saw the facility. And permit me to commend them. They bought Kilishi worth over 150K. Right on the spot when they came to visit. But just imagine I did not start, or I did not put what I was doing online. Who would have discovered me? All of us, most of us in this room, we have mighty things that we are doing, but we are thinking, oh, poster, let them think that way. Because there are some connections that will come by just you putting your work online. You are selling tomatoes. Somebody is selling moi moi and she's posting it. You that are not doing a correct branded service-based business, why won't you not post what you are doing? So please know that it starts now. That journey to becoming, it's not a destination like mommy said. It's a journey. It's a path that we want to go. I cannot say I want to go and meet Lade Nigeria and I want to jump from here to there. Possible. I have to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps to get there. And that's what I want everybody in this room today to learn. You need to take steps to get to that destination. I was selected as a Mandela Washington Fellow, and that's because they've seen track record. Most of us have track records, but we are not putting it out there. So please, start now. That journey to whatever it is that we want to be. You know, people say that Osogbo, Osun State. I always say, please don't allow your location to limit your potential. You are Osogbo based, you are Osun State based, you are Ife based. Does not mean that your thinking faculty is Ife based or your thinking faculty is Osogbo based. And that is why all of us need to step up. We need to read. We need to develop ourselves. Leadership begins from personal first before you can now say you want to lead other people and impact other people. Sorry.
Thank you very much. That was really, I don't know, but thank you very much. So with this, we've come to the end of this panel session. And I hope that you are going to connect with these people. Have Mr. President's number. You get why. Election is just very soon. Have doctor's number. You get why. And my leader, you must have a number. So please feel free to connect with our panelists. So thank you. Thank you all for having